Hi, everyone. This week, you are going to focus on chapters 3 and 4, but you're also going to apply some of the concepts that you learned in chapter 2 as well. As you'll know, we continue to build on concepts throughout the first half of the semester, and you will apply by completing case studies, and then the second half of the semester will be focused on you really starting to use your skills with practicing facilitation in mock groups. So one of the first things that you'll do, and this is really reinforcing concepts from chapters 1 and 2, is in your discussion forum, you will be looking at a case study, the anxiety support group that you can see on the screen now. So prior to recording your video prompt, you will read the case study. And this is a case study for young adults managing anxiety. You'll note that Alex is a first-time group facilitator, and over the past couple of sessions, although the first one was enthusiastic and he was engaged, the dynamic shifted. And the case study identifies some of the challenges that have emerged, including conflict and communication styles with some of the members, emerging conflicts with tensions with some of the group members, lack of structure that is associated with Alex and Alex's inconsistency with being able to create a format for the meetings, unresolved emotional reactions from some of the members, and then therapeutic forces at play. So once you've read through these and you've had time to really reflect and look back at your chapters to answer the discussion prompts, then you will go ahead and you will record your video discussion prompt for week 3. And I want you to consider these questions when you complete your discussion prompt. So when you're addressing the communication dynamics, how might Alex address the issue of dominant voices while encouraging quieter members? What communication strategies can improve the overall group dynamic? When looking at conflict resolution, what steps can Alex take to mediate tensions between group members and to prevent future conflicts? How can the facilitator create a safe space for participants to express concerns without escalating tensions? Structure and leadership. How important is structure in group counseling? Propose a simple agenda or a framework that Alex could use to provide more direction in future sessions. Discuss the role of boundaries and rules in maintaining group cohesion. Therapeutic forces. What therapeutic forces need to be strengthened? So this is where you'll go back particularly to the therapeutic forces PowerPoint from week 2, as well as your textbook. And then group purpose. How has a lack of clear and consistently communicated purpose impacted the dynamics? And then you will propose some practical solutions. So if you were Alex, how could you approach Mia about her discomfort? And how might Alex seek feedback from the group? Again, this should be at least, 3 to 4 minutes, I would assume, to be able to properly answer the questions in a video format. Once you've completed this by Tuesday, then as always, you will respond to at least one other student's discussion forum, and you may do so either by creating a video response or a written response. In addition to this, you will also be looking at group purpose and beginning pre-group planning and session planning, and that is associated with chapters 3 and 4. You'll complete the group purpose assignment and then the pre-group planning worksheet and session plan assignment. I would recommend that you complete the pre-group planning worksheet before you do the session plan, because pre-group planning is really that big picture plan that you need to kind of do before you actually start to do a session plan. So I hope to be able to pull up the pre-group planning worksheet so I can go through it with you. The objectives of this assignment is to develop a pre-group plan that considers key elements such as purpose, membership, logistical aspects required for successful group, and this exercise will help you think critically about planning phase of group counseling. So what I would like you to do is just choose a hypothetical group. I've given you some options, and some of these options are a support group for parents, anxiety or management group, substance abuse recovery group, grief support group, career transition support group, social skills group for adolescents. You may choose any of these group, or of course, you may choose a group of your own as well. This is not associated with your final project or any other project. This is a standalone assignment in which you'll complete this pre-group activity planning with the group that you chose, and then you'll create a session plan focused on the same group. So for example, if you want to focus this assignment on support group for parents, the session plan will also be for a session associated with a support group for parents. So once you've identified your group, you'll start planning. And this will consist of identifying the purpose of the group. So what are the primary goals of the group? What is the specific needs? Again, it's all hypothetical. So you're really kind of being creative. And in chapters 3 and 4, there are big picture plans that you can refer to, as well as session plans. What is your target population and membership criteria? So who is the intended audience? What is the eligibility criteria to be in the group? What kind of screening methods will you be used to determine if individuals are a good fit for group? And what are you going to do for screening? So will you personally interview the participants or potential participants? Will you have them apply? Will you just accept a referral from a professional? Will you allow for an initial trial session? How often are you going to be working with this group? So is it going to be a support group that's going to meet once a week for 8 weeks? Is it, again, is it weekly? Is it biweekly, monthly? How long is each session? Is it 30 minutes? Is it 60 minutes? Is it 90 minutes? Again, you have to go look back at those therapeutic forces and identify who your audience is and what would be the best for them in regards to how often the group is meeting when looking at purpose and the time frame for those groups. And then possible topics to cover. This is where you're brainstorming all the possible topics that could be covered in that particular group. So if it's a support group for parents, what kind of things might come up that parents might need support with? It could be behavioral problems or school, communication, time management, whatever it may be. Again, you're being creative and you're thinking about at least 5 key topics or themes that would be within that large group, okay? Once you've completed that, this is due by Sunday, then you will be able to create the next assignment, which is the session plan for a group within that type of group that you've chosen. So going back to the assignments, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the session plan assignment to go over it with you. So again, please complete that pre-group planning or big picture type of assignment before you do this next assignment. The next assignment is the session plan development, which is designed to develop a detailed version plan for a selected group. This assignment is going to help you practice structuring an effective group session that meets participants' needs while also considering potential challenges. Again, textbook chapter 4 has sample session plans that you can look at. You will choose the same group that you chose in the last assignment that I just looked at. So if you chose a support group for parents, that is the group that you're going to create a session plan on. Your session plan should identify the objectives of the session, so what you aim to achieve in that particular session. So if your focus is on challenging behaviors of toddlers, for example, then you need to clearly define that and what the objectives are for that particular group, okay? So for example, by the end of the session, participants will have identified at least 3 coping strategies for managing anxiety. Obviously, that's associated with an anxiety group. So your objectives need to clearly be associated with the purpose and the topic of the group. You will divide then the session into 3 key phases. So your warm-up phase, where you might have an icebreaker. Icebreakers can be anything. They can be creative and fun, but they also can be purposeful. So it can be an icebreaker that's associated with your particular group. Establishing rapport and setting the tone. So for example, participants will share one word that describes their current mood and briefly discuss. Then you'll focus on the working phase. Notice the time frame. You want your time frame to be correlated with how long your group is. So if your group is only 30 minutes, then obviously you're not going to be spending 30 minutes in the working stage, right? So the working phase is the phase where it's the meat of the group, where you're really working on that core content. And there are specific activities that are addressed to meet the objectives of the course. The closing phase, you're summarizing the key takeaways, providing resources. And again, you want to keep in consideration time allocation and potential challenges and solutions. This is a session plan. Again, please refer back. It should be about a page long in which you're indicating what you're doing in each phase, okay? As well as identifying the time allocation and any challenges that may come up. Then you're going to reflect in 200 words at least, a brief explanation of your rationale for structuring the session, discuss how the plan supports the group purpose and participant needs, and explain any adjustments that you made. This is going to give you an opportunity to start planning sessions within that group, big group picture. All right, if there are questions, you know how to reach me to ask them.